Are weekends ruining your diet? Well, today we're going to talk about how to end overeating and stop the Monday through Thursday diet. I'm here with Adam Gilbert, founder of My Body Tutor. I'm Haley Pulley, head coach over at My Body Tutor. And today we're going to teach you why it's happening, why do we overeat on the weekends, and how can we stop ruining our progress on the weekends. So, Adam, first things first. We got to talk about why this is happening. What are the traps? What are the pitfalls? Why do we keep doing this?
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of reasons. The first reason is that, we don't plan Friday night. And, it's been a long week. We're exhausted, we're stressed, we just want to unwind. And we just kind of drift into Friday night. And it's like, hey, what are you in the mood for? And usually when we ask what we're in the mood for, it's usually not a healthy meal, right? So we'll indulge in something. We wind up, there's no plan, right? So we have to plan for Friday night because the truth is, if you set the tone for the weekend, if you start strong on Friday night, it's going to set the tone for the whole weekend.
Right. So you even said something really interesting. If we're asking ourselves, what are we in the mood for? What are we doing? Right away, we're letting emotion guide our decisions, right? Which always leads to probably overeating or doing some things we're not really proud of later on.
Yeah, and just like how when we start the day strong, it sets a tone for the day. And of course, sometimes we start the day strong and we fade off as the day goes on. But you certainly increase the chances of finishing the day strong if you start the day strong. And it's the same thing for the weekend. So if we start the day strong, if we start the weekend strong on Friday night, it's absolutely going to impact the rest of the weekend.
All right. So it's really getting set up right at the very front end of the weekend. Plan it, right? Like think about what it is you want to have, what you're going to do on Friday night. So that kind of involves making sure that we're set up for that, right? So this brings us to the next trap, which is the environment. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so a lot of people, they go grocery shopping Sunday and Monday, and they have groceries, and by kind of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for sure, there's not much left. And if there's not much left, that's when the likelihood of ordering in or going out increases. So it's super important that, you go to the grocery store, you have supplies, you have an environment that has healthy food available. And it's one of those things that's like, yeah, that sounds great. And it sounds like common sense, but it's not common practice. So one of the things we try to do is, we'll try to buy enough food that will last, or we'll make a trip on Thursday or Friday for the weekend. Because again, so often we don't have any food left.
All right. So you really have to factor that practice in though, right? It's probably best to do it before you get to Friday.
Yes, because usually Wednesday or Thursday is a good day because sometimes going to the grocery store on Friday evening or afternoon is not so fun after a long week either.
Right. So, okay. So here's the other trap, right? What if we don't set up for Friday and we bomb, like totally bomb on Friday? What do most people do?
Yeah, so it's this what the hell effect, right? It's like, well, I already ate, I already indulged, I already overate, Friday night, screw it, I'll start fresh on Monday. And that is a huge pitfall because we let one meal destroy the whole weekend. But the reality is, as we like to say, we want you to be fit and happy and not fit and miserable. And you absolutely can and should enjoy your favorite meals. But we can't let one meal destroy the entire weekend. We can't fall victim to this, well, I already indulged, screw it, why bother?
Right. Okay. So we've talked about a couple of traps. We're going to shift gears here. We're going to talk about how we can avoid these traps and set up for a better, more successful weekend. And I just want to remind you guys to hang in there with us because at the end we have something really kind of unique to share with you guys that it's going to help you get more out of your weekends and continue the success. So, all right. So let's flip things around here. And number one, when we are planning for our weekends, where do we start?
I think it helps to plan for, your indulgences, right? Plan if you're going out to eat, if you're ordering in, whatever it might be, plan for those because we want to build those in. Again, we want you to be fit and happy, not fit and miserable. So planning for your indulgent meals will help you work backward. And doing that, it will help tremendously. And it'll also prevent, the what the hell effect. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it's really important, but I think it's also like it's understanding what challenges and what impulses, perhaps what resistance is going to come up throughout the weekend, right? And making sure it's realistic that, look, I am at some point going to feel this way. I'm going to want to indulge in the food that I love. So yeah, it's a little bit of a different take on it, but let's just go ahead and plan for it because it's likely to happen,
Right.
right?
And
And
yeah,
then
and
I, I think then we're sure to get out of it what we want to get out of it. Like, why do we indulge? Because we want to have fun. We want to feel good. We like this. We want some joy. Let's make sure we get out of it what we want by planning for it.
yes, and being realistic is so important, right? If you have a birthday party or whatever it might be, like I think to sit there and not eat anything or just deprive yourself if you feel that like that's not going to work. So it's important to understand and be flexible and realize sometimes you can kind of quote unquote roll your sleeves up, and sometimes it's like all right, I'm going to just make the best of this and be realistic.
Right. So, kind of pulling back and taking a look at the bigger picture too, we often talk about starting with the end in mind, right? Like, let's think about how we want to feel Sunday night or perhaps Monday when we get up. My gosh, how many times have you woken up on a Monday and thought, oh, I just don't even want to think about this weekend, right? Or like gone to bed Sunday night and it's like, ugh, I got to start over tomorrow. What if it didn't have to be that way? Start with the end in mind and then work backwards and try to factor in everything.
Yeah, that's so important and so helpful because when you set the intention, and again, it's not about we ideally you want to be intentional, right? So if you're doing that, then you're going to feel great because and part of the setting the intention though is being setting a realistic intention, right? As we said, like if you're going out to eat or if you have a party or whatever it might be, like be realistic. It's not it's unrealistic likely to just sit there and eat nothing or not partake. Like that's not the point of this. So yeah, I love that. I mean, thinking about how you want to feel Sunday night or Monday morning is, always helps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and then, I think to what you were saying, set the intention. Like we can't overhaul our weekend behaviors all at once. So, to borrow something from Gretchen Rubin, better than before, right? Is a really great intention to lead with. Like this weekend, I'm going to do better than before. And maybe the place to start is let me begin with the end in mind and decide, how I achieve that,
Right.
what's going to make you feel successful in those moments. Okay, so we've kind of got all of those things in place, right? Planning indulgences, anticipating challenges and feelings that may come up along the way, beginning with the end in mind. Kind of the last piece of magic here, though, is commitment, right? We really want to commit to making this happen. So, you know, let's talk about that. In my mind, it's really deciding that's what we're doing and truly deciding. And I think you can understand if you've decided on something honestly by the outcome. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think it starts with how do you want the weekend to end? And if you decide, hey, I want to feel good during the weekend, after the weekend, there's no doubt. I mean, the decision is really important.
Yeah. And it's committing to the realistic plan, right? Not the ideal, not the perfect plan. It's what's realistic.
Right. It's
Um,
far better to go to, if you're driving from New York to California, 80 miles an hour than 100 miles an hour, right? If you go 100 miles an hour, you're going to burn out. It's unsustainable. Go 80 miles an hour. Allow yourself to let up. Let's say you push yourself in the whole idea is, you typically do well Monday through Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you go off the rails. Likely, you're trying to you're trying to continue that momentum through the weekend, but you have to let up a little bit, right? Because obviously what you're doing isn't working. But instead of trying to go 100 miles an hour, quote unquote, or instead of trying to go 100% and then realizing that's not doable and then kind of giving up, try to go 80 miles an hour. Try to go 80% and allow yourself a few indulgences and say, all right, now I'm going to recover right away instead of because the idea is you're allowing yourself to improve versus like if you're setting the bar so high, as soon as you fail, you feel bad and you give up.
right. All right. Cool. So I mentioned about halfway through, we're looking for this little jewel, this little gem to help us with weekends. So you want to share it with us?
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Like, I have two kids, and a question I'm always asking them is like, "Did you have fun? You having fun? Did you have fun? Was this fun?" Like, I'm so obsessed and so concerned with their fun. Um, no one ever asked me that, and it's really important that we have fun, right? And we all have an inner child, and if that inner child gets neglected, then that's when we seek out other things like food, right? So it's really important that you plan for fun, right? We're as adults, we're so good at planning doctor's appointments and haircuts and whatever it might be, all sorts of meetings. Like we're just always planning, but we're rarely planning fun. So planning fun on the weekends is critical to help you, because if you have fun, then you won't need food for fun.
Right. Yeah. I honestly think adults are lousy at having fun. It's like we enter the workforce and fun no more. It'll be food, it'll be drinks, things like that. And then, yeah, we end up in a place we really don't want to be.
Right. So, we've all been involved in activities where we're kind of just like in this flow state, as we've all heard, like, where you're in it, you're thinking, you're not thinking, you're just fully immersed. That's what you're after, right? And if you have no idea what you like to do for fun anymore, what did you like doing as a kid, right? And perhaps now that you're an adult, you can do a more advanced version, right? I loved Legos when I was a kid, and now I do like a more advanced version of Legos. They actually have Lego Masters. I love playing sports. Like, that's fun for me. So find what's fun for you and plan it, though. That's the key, is planning it. Because just like we typically never find time for exercise, we have to make time. We have to make time for fun, as pathetic as that sounds. But it's true. It's not. We're not going to just start having fun out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I don't think it is pathetic. I think that's perhaps like something that we have to be careful thinking of. It's really, really crucial, because truly, I mean, we don't have a lot of time, and food becomes a really quick fix for that, and that's harming us. So
Right.
I think it's really important. We have to make that time.
Yeah. No. I mean, I just meant pathetic. That, like, it's pathetic that we need to be reminded to have fun. Um, and
Right. Well,
there's just so many of us like work, work, work. And that's food is a quick, cheap, reliable, escape, and it is fun. But of course, it never makes us feel the way we want to feel. So.
right.
Plan for fun. You have our blessing, and we recommend it. It will definitely help you.
Absolutely. Well, thanks so much, Adam. Thanks, guys, for
Thank you.
watching. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you liked that video, check out the link for another great video right here.
And if you're having trouble staying consistent, if you feel like you know what to do but just can't seem to do it, I invite you to check out our coaching program. It's in the link below. We offer one-to-one accountability, coaching, support. I know you're going to love it, and let's go. Together we can make it happen.